Detective Gaither. I realized that in the past there was a request for the media to not video Gaither, Detective Gaither, but, and I didn't realize this before. I'm sure I objected to it before, but I don't understand the legitimate security concern regarding. I mean, maybe they can articulate one, a legitimate security concern regarding Detective Gaither, because she's all over media. I mean,
she is absolutely all over the place. I have posted pictures of her because they're very public. So I don't understand the security thing as well.
she's a star of First 48. She gets an 8.4 rating, actually. So it's apparently a pretty good show that she's on. But I don't understand why she can be on commercial television and the AJC and everywhere else and not be televised here.
I'll ask the state.
Your Honor, I think that I know that this was dealt with previously. She is no longer in law enforcement. She's retired, and she, in her capacity at her current position.
I think that it matters that she's not doing law enforcement in her current position, because her prior position showed her all over the place, and it's very easy to find her. I have never seen her on First 48, even though I watched that show. I'm gonna have to go back and find her though on there. But I don't think that should matter.
Is not working as law enforcement, but there's
Can you share with me what that position is?
Sure, if the court will allow me to do it at the bench with whoever with defense wants to.
Whatever was said at the bench, the judge did go ahead and allow for Gaither not to be shown again. So she will be on the stand in just a little bit, but we will not be seeing her face on camera again, as we have not in the past.
The court kept out was, yeah, I told him Shannon hot-headed. The line after that, we have that it is included and available for impeachment purposes. They all want names for themselves. They want names for themselves. And when I asked the witness on the stand, I was looking to go back to see all that I asked him, but I don't have that transcript in front of me. But he said, when I asked him, it's everything that he said about the 3 people who are currently on trial. Or why is it that everything you say about them, you can remember they didn't say, or you told a lie, but you can't remember anything else. That would allow what he is saying here to be an inconsistent statement.
These prior inconsistent statements are getting excessive. Like, we cannot spend the entire trial talking about inconsistent statements with every single witness over and over and over. Like, move on, please.
About them wanting names for themselves. That is the one area that there is disagreement on. There were 2, so the other one is.
Your Honor, can I respond to that one?
One at a time. And so the state had that it could be used for impeachment?
Yes.
The state keeps taking the stance that as long as something was, and I'm not conceding that it was a prior inconsistent statement because I don't recall them asking that, but they seem to be taking the stance that as long as something's a prior inconsistent statement, it's automatically admissible.
It's absolutely the stance they are taking, that it is automatically bring everything in. No, stop.
And this is speculation. It's speculating about my client's intent in doing something that he wasn't even there for. So that was the foundation, is did my client say, hey, I did this and this is why? And that foundation was never laid. It's not a matter of prior inconsistent statement.
Right, yeah. And what you had was that it was out unless a foundation was laid.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Your Honor, that's, I'd ask that the court check the court's notes because there was
So I can't find my notes, unfortunately. I don't have any idea where they went to.
because our notes.
Not our note. Your notes are wrong, love. That's kind of actually the point. Your notes are wrong.
Are specifically that it can be used for impeachment purposes. And the argument that his client wasn't there is belied by the witness's statement to the police that he was, which the court is requiring that we keep out because the court ruled that it has to be kept out. About, I don't know why he's saying his client wasn't there.
I didn't say my client.
just what he just said.
I said that.
No, that's not what he said.
He just said my client wasn't there. He literally just said my client wasn't there.
Okay, but that's not what.
The judge did go ahead and stay with her prior ruling, and she did not allow that conversation portion in that Love was trying to bring in for impeachment purposes.
Like from how I heard, like when I heard her, okay. I like, oh, I like should most of them call me or something in the morning, you know that. But she like, most of them cussing D out, cause D telling them that he was showing that most of them told D that he had to find around home. And then that was she like, then that was D told, I would sleep, D told me that morning like, they had shot down. He told me no for name, he heard say that my home. But I kind of feel Montone without a white figure that. I mean, I ain't got no car.
How Moontoon didn't have no car? Didn't Moontoon tell us he had multiple cars and that was his thing that he did? He didn't have no car back then.
Now, D told you that, say that you kind of skimmed over that part. When you say D, you talking about Demekion, right? That ain't real name. You talking about Lil D from 30D, like Mechanicsville? Demekion. Demekion.
We know you knew who Demekion was, Gaither, at your house.
They told me, that they had houses. That who had houses? Him, Tay, and, who it was? Shannon. He just told me no name. He said him, Tay, Shannon, and some other boy named Trey Dunn. You would take. Named Trey Dunn? Yeah. He told you personally. Yeah.
When you showed Quindarius Zachary a phone number, was that the phone number for his mother, or was that the phone number that you had for Quindarius Zachary himself?
That was the phone number that he utilized himself.
If y'all will remember, he said that the number she was going over was his mom's number, not his number. But Gaither says that she actually did a search warrant at his home, and his mom was there, and that is how she actually got that number. So she's stating that the phone number that I had, I got it legitly because his mom gave me the phone number, said this is his number.
What's his girlfriend?
Summer.
Good?
Yeah, Summer Good.
What about Tay or Threat?
Yes.
What can you tell the jury about who that is? Tay or Threat?
I've been familiar with Tay or Trevante Turner for a while. He was a documented gang member. I believe he was MDC. Had several cases with involving him
Okay.
prior to this.
Montun or Antonio Sledge as being a member of any particular gang?
I did.
Which gang?
YSL.
All right. What gang had Demekion been documented as belonging to?
As initially 30 Deep, and later on we added a subset of YSL.
We're just adding subsets. That to me seems troublesome. We later on added a subset. How you just add a subset and say it's a gang if you have not confirmed it's a gang? Because number one, y'all still ain't showed us nothing that it currently is or was a gang. So how do we just come up with subsets?
I tell you, six, I mean like 5'10".
We already starting off the lies. How you go from 6 feet to 5'10"? Really?
Yeah, how much you at? 169. You brown mouth, black hair. I ain't brown. Your eyeball. Meaning the colored part is brown. What's the highest grade level you completed? Graduated. I know people graduated 8th grade. Did you graduate high grade? High school, 12th grade. What else did you do? I don't know, but I graduated from current. What year? I think 09. Something like that.
So if y'all will remember, he previously said that he didn't graduate. And when Love was kind of going over things, she was like, did you graduate 8th grade? Because I guess she remembered from the tape that was asked, I know people that graduate from 8th grade. Like, did you graduate 8th grade? Did you graduate high school? He's like, no, I graduated high school. Him not remembering the year is absolutely a problem.
Why do y'all call yourselves slime? Number one. I'm not no slime. Why do they call themselves slime? Because we stealing stuff. How did 30 Deep and Cleveland Avenue link up for a long time? Anybody fuck with them? Y'all didn't fuck with each other.
Like I missed that. That's how they started getting close, is because of the relationship between Thug and Woody. I feel like I missed that somehow.
So that just kind of brought everybody together. How close are you and Woody? Well, how close were you? Only reason we got close because I was hanging with mates who hang with Thug. And then another one, Woody, what you call it? We started this. So your Woody people, meaning Demekion and Shannon, everybody just kind of started linking up. Yeah.
See, this will lead me to believe that Woody is actually more of the leader than anybody, because he's kind of the common denominator, not Thug.
Woody and Carrie had some person going on. I guess he big as bad. So just over there in Windshield?
That's my whole thing. This is over a windshield. The person with the most money, he got upset over a windshield? Really?
I mean, I wasn't there. Oh, y'all didn't do it? Y'all didn't know? No. I'm saying I wasn't physically there.
We know about it, but how many times is
Like 200.
so they were just done?
Yeah. But they knew y'all was in there? Yeah, people posting pictures on Instagram, videos on Instagram.
APD to see if the gang unit had any kind of a, like, I think they called it a black book or any kind of written thing like that. Were you able to find anything out? So is
When Whitaker asked this question, Atkins starts explaining how all the cases were investigated separately and then they were combined based on their individual separate investigations, and that is how they got them all together as a gang. So then she continues on with a kind of different question, but really the same question, and we'll pick up there.
there any written gang unit kind of, here are our policies on how we determine who's in a gang or anything like that?
I have not specifically asked that question. They certainly have the Georgia gang criteria that they follow, so I can speak with them about that. And I'm sure, well, not sure, but from speaking with them, I'm quite positive it's going to be aligned with the first witness, Detective Belknap.
Right.
That slideshow was built around how he was trained
Yeah.
to.
Okay.
Each state has their own definition of what is a gang, and of course Georgia has their own guidelines of what is a gang. And someone asked me specifically what would be enough evidence for me personally, remember that, me personally, to say this was a gang. And this is my very politically correct answer. If a sorority or fraternity is in trouble for hazing, they should never be allowed back at all. They're a gang to me because they conspired together to commit a crime. They should never be able to come back. That's hazing. It shouldn't be allowed. It's a gang. But I'm very black, and this is my non-political correct answer. The police are a gang. Do with that what you will. That's how black and white it is for me personally.
If you wouldn't mind just asking, and was there anything else beyond like what their policies are, policy manual, any kind of gang manual they might have?
Or any methodologies or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
Any methodologies, any of their processes.
Any
things
kind
that
of
nature.
manual, any kind of written anything they've got about how they go about things.
Yes, Your Honor.
This is a problem for me. We are 139 days of court days in on this trial. How do we not all have the same definition of what is a gang, how we go about determining what is a gang? This very clearly to me indicates that it's based on your personal opinion, which is the problem. It is based on someone's individual personal opinion, and there's not a set rule guideline that everybody follows. None of these people are new attorneys. None of these people are new to the game. So why don't they have something that they all follow? And why was that not brought in at the beginning? And why are we revisiting or bringing this up now, 139 days in?
Your Honor, may I ask the witness a question to establish for the record why it is and what it is that I'm replaying?
You can try, sure.
Sergeant Gaither, during the portion of the interview that was just played, were portions of what Mr. Zachary said, and specifically after he was asked about what started the beef between YSL and If Gang, were you able to hear today on this screen what it was that Mr. Zachary said Rudy had done as it related to the Metropolitan, the studio on Metropolitan?
Yes.
All heard it. Y'all didn't hear it because I didn't play it because it's repetitive. But we hear it. It's very clear. The repeating of everything is very just time consuming. They're playing the tape. Then they ask Gaither, did you hear this? Yes. So it is repeated multiple times in the same setting. So if you're a person that misses something, I guess you can easily kind of grasp it. But if you're a person that grasps things quickly, it is just, it's too much. You're zoned out.
And in that video, did Mr. Zachary say,
Objection, Your Honor. This is just repeating what we've already heard. If the jurors can't hear it, the jurors know to ask the court if they can rehear it.
Your Honor, I'd ask that the court's instructions and I'd ask to be allowed to do what the court said that it would allow me to do.
The court didn't say anything.
Phil, stop. He said the court didn't say anything. I'm not going to play with him today. He is not here for it. I'm with him too, but he is not here for it.
Your
We're
Honor,
listening to a recording, then we're listening again with Ms. Love repeating what the recording allegedly says. I'm not conceding she's saying it right. And asking the witness whether she heard it. She says yes. I'm objecting.
Your Honor, I believe that this is the same mode of interrogation Mr. Steele used with one of the previous witnesses while listening to Mr. Kenneth Copeland's video. The state objected. It was overruled. And I asked to be allowed to ask this witness about certain portions of this interview. I have not done this consistently.
I don't actually recall the state objecting on this basis and that being overruled. And based on that objection, I have to sustain it.
She tried to lie on the court, and the court said that's a lie. Is that what y'all heard? That's what I heard.
Objection, but if we're going to have speaking objections, I have one I'd like to say as well, on behalf of the jury, as Ms. Love seems to be claiming she is speaking on behalf of. This is a waste of time hearing the same thing 3 times.
Well, it's not a waste of time if it can't be deciphered. We have a problem, and I don't know if it was any of you, but we need to get to the bottom of it, or I'm going to have to excuse everybody from utilizing cameras anymore, because there is an instruction that this witness not be in any way filmed or documented, no visual images of this witness, and some person who I have no idea who is from Adam has just emailed that they and shown a picture that is now documented all over the internet of this witness today, clearly, sitting in the witness box being examined by Miss Love, and it is a full-on image of the witness. And so we need to get to the bottom of who took it and sent it to somebody else. And it was posted by somebody named Empress Fox, Protect the Flag, America, I guess, 2028, with the disclaimer, this was sent to me, I didn't take the photo or own it. So, one by one. I can't, you know what, everybody come up individually to a microphone somewhere so that I can hear you, identify yourself, and say what you need to say. Does that microphone? Good afternoon.
So I just, I'm not the leader. I just wanted to be the first one to say that I'm not allowed cell phones or cameras. It's on an order. I definitely did not take the picture. The picture did come to my attention. I got here a little bit late today, but there was a camera and device. Someone was definitely taking pictures. today, and I know one of the people who was taking pictures was Miss L.J. Hall, PhD. Not for sure if she took the picture, but she definitely had a camera.
Okay. All right. And remind me your name. I'm sorry.
Yes, my name is Nicole Borden.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You said that you gave her hers.
And she was
She
Miss
wasn't-
Sylvia.
Yeah, you gave her permission to do still photos, but not on these. You weren't supposed to do that.
Hey, I only live.
Hello,
Hi, I was live streaming. That's it. I didn't take any pictures.
ma'am.
I live stream. I didn't take any pictures.
Okay. I mean, you've got a couple, 2 or 3 different devices going over there at once at some points in time. And it looks like sometimes you do take photos. Are you taking photos?
Yeah, I only take photos of the defendant. That's
All
it.
right.
Or you.
You are
Or I take pictures of you.
representing to the court that you did not take
No.
any pictures, any images of this witness. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you know anything at all about anyone who did and or how this got out there?
I only know one person that was taking pictures, the same person that she said.
She signed in right
She
here.
signed in with her too.
All right. And ma'am, I don't even know who you are back there, but
No,
She's not.
she's not even
she's
allowed
not
to
part of
have.
the
okay. No. All right. Sorry to have. Okay. All right. Thank you. I will do a show cause order to Miss Hall, and we'll find out from her.
It's always something. And I told y'all, they be on it, and that's why I said don't worry about nothing. If something happened yesterday, it'll be easily dealt with. Not that this is related to what happened yesterday, but
Thank you for coming in, and I had a question for you. That is, and you may already know what the topic is. And did you take any photographs of the witness?
I did not, and from the area that I sit today, you can tell that I couldn't take that picture.
Okay.
I heard it online, and luckily I wasn't all the way back to Covington, so I don't believe in throwing rocks and hiding my hands. I have a reputation, and I'm going up for DOJ certification for immigration, so I don't need anything that's lack of moral turpitude to affect me, so I wanted to make sure.
Well, I appreciate
back
you
in
coming
here.
straight here. And I think that we have actually figured out what happened anyway.
Okay.
And since we're on it, I'll just go ahead. And it appears that what happened is that, and I hate to say it, and I don't think it was your fault, Mr. Maurice, but I think what happened, it looks like, is that you're showing the screens when video is being played, understandably. But what happens is when the video gets stopped, there was just an instant where, because for us in here in this courtroom with Zoom, we have the witness being shown just to us so that y'all can see it and I can see it, because this courtroom setup is not ideal for everybody to be able to see the witness. And it showed for just a second the witness, because it captured the Zoom that got shown that's just interior here. But anybody, of course, can screen grab it. And it looks like that's what happened. So I think that in order to stop that from occurring in the future, we just, when we have a witness who isn't supposed to be filmed, we just won't even be able to use the Zoom, so that we don't have that accidentally happen in the future. And there aren't that many witnesses that aren't going to get shown anyway. And thankfully for this particular witness, it's not the end of the world,
Right.
considering she's apparently been on First 48 before. So anyway, thanks to all of the media people, and y'all are all still good and glad to
Okay.
come in.
Also, I don't get that list of who's not to be photographed.
Oh,
If
and-
I had not heard it ahead of time,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known.
Okay.
But
Let's make sure
I
we get you
definitely wanted
added.
to make sure my name is
Okay.
good.
All right.